Everyone, and welcome to another video blog of me and what actually happens to me or I get up to on a weekly basis. So Saturday, I decided to get my hair cut. So it's looking quite short, as you can probably see from the actual camera. I actually like to have my hair short rather than in my face. So unfortunately this week I ran into a little incident at the hairdressers. I can't say it was my fault, so as I had nothing to do with it. So they're having their place at Duncraig on Marmion Ave kind of revamped and redone up. So they're having a new back room put in. Usually I like to go to these hairdressers because they actually do provide a good service, and they make you a cup of tea or coffee and always take you into the back room, wash your hair, shampoo your hair and things, and cut your hair, and they always do a good job. So I find it's not too expensive, depending on your age. So I pay about $35 to $40 when I get my hair cut. So but this week, they actually took me to the back room, washed my hair for me, shampooed my hair, did all the great things that I normally like for their service. And then they took me over to cut my hair, made me this great cup of tea, which is I actually liked. So until I got to the very bottom. So as I got to the bottom, so I started to drink my cup of tea as you do, and I was like, "Ooh." And then I got to the very bottom, and I could taste something actually in my mouth. And originally, because you don't take your own cup there, they give you a cup, assuming it's washed out. Originally, I thought, oh, this has to be definitely hair in my mouth. And I thought, pretty much disgusting. I thought, this can't be good. And the hairdressers being the fact that they sit you over by the sidebar, there's no sink to spit into, no sink whatsoever to spit into. So what do? It's like you can't spit it out all over the bar. So basically, I've got a mouthful of tea. I take my swig, and then I'm like, so I end up spitting it out basically back into the cup. Unfortunately, my aim wasn't too good. Some of it went onto the actual bar, but not too much. So most of it went back into the cup. And then it turned out, to my satisfaction, that it wasn't actually hair in the cup. So that was a great relief. It turned out to be that the tea bag had actually burst in the cup, and the actual person who made my cup of tea had made me this nice cup of tea till I got to the bottom and I found the tea bag had burst. So basically, I was drinking tea leaves. So drinking tea leaves is not good. Didn't taste too good for me. So in the end, drinking tea leaves was very much disgusting. So I had no option but to spit it back out. They did offer to make me a new cup of tea after they discovered that the tea had tea leaves in the bottom. They offered to make me a new cup of tea, but I actually said I didn't want one, as I was fine. I just had a whole cup of tea. It's very nice. So I believe they were a bit stressed out this week. I don't know why, because they actually probably because they're having revamps done and reconstruction done of their store. So basically, they seem to tell the actual girl off who actually made my cup of tea, and they told her off for actually making my tea and actually kind of ripping the tea bag. But I'm sure she didn't do it deliberately. It's just an accident. Accidents happen. So I came to her defense and jumped in for her defense, and basically said not to worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And so I said it was fine. So I enjoyed the cup of tea. So I don't know how many of you have had that same incident happen when you go to the hairdressers, but I find that going to the hairdressers and then finding tea leaves in a body cup and drinking it, thinking you got hair in your cup, she does taste pretty disgusting. So, but at least it wasn't too bad. But and I didn't actually swallow it, as the option was if you don't have a sink, you're not going to you don't want to spit out on the side, you don't want to spit on the floor, and you don't want to swallow it. So I had no choice but to spit it out back in the cup. So it's actually good to get my hair cut, and an interesting incident there, although I was embarrassed about it later. Very embarrassed. So, and it wasn't my fault, again, wasn't my fault, but I was pretty much embarrassed about the whole thing there. So, to keep this short, so my next thing I want to complain about, actually, well, I want to complain about this one actually, is bicycles on the road. Now, I don't know how many comments we'll get or anything, but bicycles on the road tend to piss me off more than anything. It's like every morning on my way to work, I drive to work to the train station. Every morning, doesn't matter what time I leave. I leave in the morning at 6:30, 6:40, 6:50. There's always that few cyclists on the road, and they hog up the road like anything. So like they have a footpath. There'll be a nice footpath for them to cycle on, a nice long wide footpath for them to cycle on down the road. And what they do, cycle on the road. Very annoying. So it's like you've got to carve up your backside or carve up the tail. You're coming down the road, and there's a cyclist just like cycling on the left side of the road. And as usual, you have to drive down, pull out to go around them, and then pull back in. And they just continue cycling along as if they've got all day. And it's like there's people like me and the rest of you who have to go to work or on the way to work, and you just get dragged down or slowed down by annoying cyclists who just hog up the road, think they own the road, think they have all the rights on the road, and think that they have the rights of way on the road. I mean, I've seen a lot of these cyclists actually, like, I'll be coming down the road, the lights will be on red, and I'll be sitting there, and the cyclist actually will be like, oh yes, I own the road, and I actually have all the rights of way, and they'll actually go through the lights on red, relative of if traffic's coming or not. So I have seen a lot of cyclists do stupid things, idiotic things. So basically, I am providing a few examples today of things just to make this video more exciting. So cyclists are definitely the most annoying thing. I think they're the one major cause of road accidents on the road, besides tailgating and road users who don't know how the road rules work or how the road actually rules how to go from and how to drive. But I think cyclists are the one main thing of road accidents on the road, as they cause more problems on the road than anything else. Many times I've been going through maybe Kings Park or Marmion Ave, like early morning, or City Beach, and the cyclists will have a nice wide footpath for them to use, but they cycle on the road. And they don't just cycle on the road in packs of 1 or 2 or 4, no, they don't. They have to have their big packs of like wolf packs, like 10 or 20 of them. And they'll be like, you'll be cycling along, and you're driving along the road, and then 10, 20 of cyclists just like in pairs of 2. There'll be 20 of them, and you have to pull out on the right-hand side of the road and go around them, and then eventually pull back in again. So it's like every couple of meters, it's like you're in, out, dodging and weaving all the way to your destination just to avoid the cyclists. So cyclists are just very, very annoying. So I don't know what the road rules are for cyclists. If there's a footpath, they have to use them, but I think that's how I feel. So we'll see how the comments go, but comments on cyclists are welcome. So we'll start a comments on my YouTube blog and see what people think of the cyclists and how they feel compared to me. Because to my liking, I don't like cyclists, never liked them on the road. I feel there's more danger on the road. You have no protection around you. I mean, I'm not talking about motorbikes, I'm talking about cyclists. There are dangers on the road. The only protection they have is basically their helmets. So if they get knocked off or anything, they're usually the ones whining and complaining and whinging, saying how they got knocked off their bikes. So even though technically it's, technically if I was driving along and I knocked a cyclist off his bike and he went flying, I suppose it would be my fault for not watching, when it's probably his fault because he probably ended up not watching the road and just pulled out in front of me at the last minute. So feel free to leave any comments below my YouTube section, in the comment section below, on the comment section below, on basically what you think about cyclists, and if you think they're a nuisance or a pain on the roads, and what happens when you are on the way to work, if you think they're actually road hogs. So we'll see how that goes. So this is a bit longer this week. For this week, usually I have a 4 or 5 minute video, but this week I'm making it a bit longer, extending it out to about a bit more than 10 minutes. As I just wanted to mention those two things about my haircut incident and the cyclists, how they really frustrate me. I mean, you can go out in the morning, doesn't make a difference, or you can go out in the afternoon, and the cyclists will be going all day. Just like road hogging the road in their packs of like 10 or 20 of them, hogging up the road in their little wolf packs. Oh, that's what I refer to them as, because the packs of wolves usually travelling packs, and same with the actual cyclists, they travel in packs of like 10 or 20 of them. So I have noticed sometimes the cyclists do, normally they're meant to be single file along the road, but sometimes when they have a friend with them, or 3 of them, or 4 of them, they'll cycle side by side. And that is so frustrating as you come down the left-hand lane, you got your right-hand lane, you have to pull out, go around them, and then pull back in. You have to make sure you're not pulling back in is to cut them off the road. But usually, I hate cyclists. You don't want to be in the car with me when I'm actually frustrated by a cyclist. I'm usually the one like shaking my fist at them and telling them to get off the road. So I hate these cyclists. I'm always one cursing at them, winding my window down and saying, "Get off the fucking road," or "Get off the effing road." I think one time I remember I actually did wind my window down and actually yelled out, "Get off the effing road" to them, and I think they actually all they did was just continue on cycling. So I'm one of those frustrated road users who gets very frustrated with cyclists. So I think it's a good idea to start a comment section on cyclists this week and see what people think. So please remember to leave comments in the comment section below. If you think cyclists hog up the road, or if you think cyclists on the road is a good idea, or if you think it's a bad idea, or if you think they should be cycling on a footpath when the actual when there's actually a road present. So we'll see what people think about it. So for every comment you leave me, it actually ends up in my YouTube inbox. So feel free to leave any comments, whether good or bad, about cyclists, what your views are on cyclists, whether good or bad, and basically please remember to actually keep within the topics, as I don't want spammers, I don't want people leaving bad remarks and everything and off-topic things. So as they're the worst kind of things to go from and look at. So please remember to keep on the topic of whether cyclists on the road are a good idea or a bad idea, and whether you think they're road hogs. So winding this up for this week. So thanks for watching. Bye.
So you don't like the old-time bikes, huh?